Welcome back, guys, to another update on my current rental property that is under contract right now. I'm just going to get right into it. I just want to make this quick video. I did get the appraisal back 1 day early. So in my other videos, I thought I was going to be getting it back tomorrow, which would be June 3rd, but we actually got it back today, 1 day early, which is June 2nd. So far, everything is going very smooth on this transaction for my very first rental property. So I'm just going to get right into it. The appraisal came back at 110,000, which is perfect because we are under contract for 110,000. I got sent a copy of the appraisal earlier today from my lender. For anybody that's never seen an appraisal before, there's a lot of very standard issued things that go into it that all appraisals have to look for, and they all have to uniformly look the same for the most part. Obviously, the property is going to be different just depending on what the property is. But that being said, it's great that this came back at 110,000. I'm slightly disappointed in the fact that it didn't come back higher. But when you actually look at the appraisal and get into the meat and potatoes of it, of what the appraiser was actually looking at, it kind of makes sense based on the comparable sales and the properties in the immediate neighborhood and surrounding area. The price was justified. So this is great news because the fact that it's coming in at $110,000 and we are under contract under $110,000 means that things are going to be able to keep moving forward with no problem. So we don't have to renegotiate anything. If the appraisal would have came back higher, that would have been nothing but a benefit to me as the buyer. Really, the only thing that I didn't want is for it to come in lower, because if it comes in lower, then that means that I either need to, A, bring the extra cash in order to cover the difference. So let's say if we were under contract for 110,000 and it came appraised at 109,000, well, I need to cover that $1,000 difference. Or the other option would be to negotiate with the seller to lower the purchase price from our original agreed 110,000 to the appraised value, and then I don't have to bring any additional money. So that's worst case scenario. We don't have to worry about that. I really wasn't too worried about it to begin with. Honestly, this is a great property, and I can't wait for it to be closed and done with. Really, at this point, I'm just waiting to hear back on the seller completing their end of the bargain, getting me a new water heater, fixing the AC unit, and then just a couple other minor things about the property that they needed to get fixed anyway. So it's just going to save me a little time. It wouldn't have cost very much anyway, but the AC and the water heater are huge for the fact that they're going to be making sure that those are in working condition prior to me taking possession of this property. So that's it. Really just simple as that. I got a copy of the appraisal back, got to take a look at it, got to see all the properties that were in the area that the appraiser used to justify the price of this one. Got to see some, because this is a DSCR loan as well, they use a different type of appraisal that also looks at comparable rents from homes in the area. So it was interesting to see what other 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom houses in the area were actually getting for rent. It's one thing to look online and see a bunch of houses listed for rent, but to see properties that were actually getting this rent is pretty interesting. So it's all looking really good right now. Pretty excited. I would be lying if I said I wasn't just a little bit nervous still, but at this point, there's not really much to be nervous about. Most of the big things have been done. We had the inspection going into this, making our offer, so we knew exactly the problems with the big problems with the property, which weren't even that big, and we've got the seller to cover it anyway. And so now really, my next video that I hope to update before closing is once I actually get my terms locked in with my lender, just talking about my loan and all of the different terms and closing costs associated with that, and the exact breakdown once we actually get locked in on a number. And going back to a couple other things, I was able to find out from my real estate agent, just looking at some of our documents a little bit closer, the municipal inspection that is required can actually be done after closing. So my real estate agent recommended to me that we wait to do that inspection from the city at least until the seller has done their repairs, or we can actually wait until after closing. I believe I have 30 days after closing to get that done. But because I actually have spoken with my property manager and they're going to be taking possession essentially of the property for me on the day of closing, I'm actually going to reach out to them and see if that's something they would be able to handle. And that's just another thing off my plate. That's going to be a benefit of being a remote investor. You know, you got to give trust to other people to do what needs to be done from the people that are actually in the area. It's a tough thing for me to give up that much control and not be hands-on and actually going there and seeing it physically. But right now, it seems a little unreal right now still, just the fact that I'm buying a house 2,000 miles away. So just wanted to give this quick update video. We got the appraisal back, and then I just need to get the municipal inspection done either before closing or maybe after closing. I'd preferably rather do it before closing just to save time and just get things moving as quickly as possible. And then the only other thing is getting the utilities. I learned I need to get into my name. So not trash, possibly the trash, but the big ones being water, electricity, sewage, and I can't think of the other one right now. Gas. So gas, water, electricity, and sewage. So those are the 4 big ones that I need to get into my name. Luckily, my real estate agent and the title company that we're using has a company that I can call that will actually assist me in getting those all done in one fell swoop. So I'm waiting on an email from them, so I'll keep you guys updated once I get that back. But at this point, really just waiting to hear updates from my real estate agent about how it is going with the seller getting their end of the bargain done. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this update. Hopefully we'll bring you guys one soon with my DSCR loan terms and the cost breakdown, the interest rates, and how much exactly this thing is going to cost me when we're all said and done. Be happy to make that video, and then just those other very small minor things, but we're looking pretty good at this point. So follow along, subscribe, comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one.